Oh, NWSL. Courage. It's Rog. Oh, raising this glass to you. Oh, I would play Tracy Chapman's Fast Car, but we got pinged for copyright infringement last time I did that, and I don't want to do it. I'm not alone on this NWSL. Oh, Challenge Cup final eve almost. We've got company on this Budweiser NWSL happy hour. It's not just Rog. Rachel Daly. Of the mighty Houston Dash. I take my hat off to you. Rachel, hi.
Hello, I wish I had a Budweiser in my hand.
Oh, Rachel, you know what? I'm going to sort that out for you pronto. It is a joy to be with you ahead of the Challenge Cup final this Sunday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS. Just want to say one thing before we begin. I hate the NWSL has not gotten the credit it deserves for being the first pro team sport in America to be back in action. Respect that, America. You have to. Last October, I was in Raleigh, Durham doing a live show ahead of the Courage's victory. It's great to kind of do it with America now ahead of this final. My first guest from England. Lionesses and your final bound. Houston Dash, swanging and banging. As Beyonce would say, London speed it up, Houston rocket. It's the mighty Rachel Daly. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm happy you're here. First and foremost, you are, what a week you've had. From Harrogate near Leeds. You are proper Leeds bloody United. You used to watch them with your dad. Now you're in the final. There's few people in the football world who's had the joy that you have had this week, Rachel Daly.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, honestly. I mean, I think I've had 16 years of pain with Leeds not being in the Premier League. And I guess 5 years of what feels like pain, with the Dash and lack of success. I think getting into the final and getting the credit that the Dash finally deserve is something so special to me. And then Leeds winning and getting promoted and being champions is just, speechless.
I mean, in all seriousness, we're going to talk a lot about the Dash because I love you and I love your story and I love your team. I love what you've done. I love the underdogs. I love the chip on the shoulder. I like everything about what you've done at this tournament. We will get to that. But Leeds, 16 years in the wilderness, so many agonising nearlies, so much terrible ownership, so much darkness, but passion and commitment and loyalty and wonder. I mean, really, what are you feeling as they do this? Bielsa,
Yeah, I mean, he's a god. He is literally a genius. The man is a genius. I hope we can lock him in for next year at least. It's been a nightmare for Leeds. I think we're not good in the playoffs. We end up coming third. We'll be top of the league all year, and then blow it at the end, come third, and then losing the playoffs. It's like the story of Leeds United. But yeah, it's been a tough 16 years. Let's say that for the boys and for the fans. And so yeah, to get promoted it's like a breath of fresh air. I can't wait for us to get back up there and back where we belong. And everyone hates us, so it's great.
You love that. You used to watch them with your dad, right? On the reg.
Yeah. When I was younger, I mean, we used to go to the games. I remember 8, 9 years old, watching them in the Premier League, watching the Champions League. I went to the Champions League game against Barcelona, Chelsea.
Boom.
Back in the day.
May those days soon be back because I love that team. Your path to glory, Rachel, has been unusual. I love it. Take me back to the beginning. Yorkshire, North England. It is a wonderful place. It is a singular place. It's a different universe. But when we were young, and you were younger far more recently than me, I was young in the 1920s, but it's not a place where many young women played football. You had to play with the boys until the age of under 13, the Killing Hall Nomads, right? And you banged in hat-trick after hat-trick for them.
Yeah, it was a lot easier back then to score hat-trick after hat-trick, let's say that. But yeah, it's a beautiful little town, Harrogate, where I'm from. I started off, obviously, at Killing Hall Nomads. That was my local team. I played for the boys' team and the girls' team. We actually formed the girls' team, like me and in my family and some of the staff that worked for the club, and just so I could keep playing football, I think, and just try and encourage some of the girls when we were younger to play. And yeah, it's a special place in my heart, that town, and obviously all my family is still there now. So
yeah, but you also, I read, got picked on at school because you were the only girl that played football. I mean, to play football when you were banging in those goals, it put you out there.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to look like a boy. Don't get me wrong. I had a little short back and side, a little short hair, and tried to like just fit in with them. I think I tried to fit them all to be in with them and be what part of that group, and not, I guess, not look like a traditional girl. So it wasn't straight away like, oh, there's a girl on their team, or, you know. So I just think I tried to fit in with the boys, and all my friends were the boys. So yeah, it was tough, but I feel like most girls have that same story when they were little.
Oh, but now that has changed thanks to you and the Lionesses. A story that, when I think about it, is one of the joys of my lifetime as a football fan. The development of the women's game in England, which we will touch upon. But a question from a GFOP at Lady Hooligan Cat: who was your favourite footballer when you were growing up, Rachel? Who did you look at and feel, I want to be that person?
As a female, it was Kelly Smith. I just loved the way she played. I thought she was so phenomenal
Pioneer.
on the ball. The ball. Yeah, she's brilliant. And then male, Mark Viduka. Absolutely loved him.
A lead striker, a finisher. Just how would you describe him for those that didn't get? I mean, Kelly Smith, 46 goals, 117 caps for England, a legend, a pathfinder, a pioneer. Mark Viduka, an Australian gentleman of some renown. What did you see in him?
He reminded me of the way my dad played, to be fair. He was a bigger kind of player. He wasn't like, didn't really necessarily fit the mold as being a complete athlete. I think he was a big player, held the ball up well, played well off the shoulder as well for his size, just an absolute goal scoring machine. And I think I had him on the back of my shirt every time when I was younger. He was always Viduka 9 on the back. So yeah, big fan.
Women's football in England, not as developed as it is now. You're able to get a scholarship at St. John's. Oh, go Red Storm. Is it true to say America changed your life, Rachel?
I think so, yeah. I think I learned to become who I am today because of the decision I made to go to the university here. I definitely feel like I matured as a person and as a player by coming here. I just had to learn to be on my own. You know, I've always had my family there. I've always been with my friends. It was quite a comfortable life growing up in England and playing in England, and then making that decision to move away and completely away from everyone, like isolating myself from everything I've known that was comfortable. Was a big challenge, and one that I just relished and really wanted to jump on. And yeah, I think it's definitely changed who I am today, shaped me who I am today.
Question from a GFOP at H Guardo. Do you hear from a lot of your English teammates about NWSL? How can we attract more of the Lionesses to come over here, play in the United States of America?
Yeah, I'm obviously in touch with them quite regularly. I've got a good group of friends in the team, and yeah, especially now. I think now that there's no games for them, I think they're also invested in the Challenge Cup. They get messages from them all. They're all like so invested, so involved, and obviously want the Dash to win. And obviously they were rooting for Jodie too. But now in the final, they all at Dash, so that's good. And yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of the girls in England have multi-year contracts with their respective clubs. So I think people would be definitely willing to try the NWSL. I think they've realised how good it's gotten over the past few years, and see the potential of where it's going. So I think there's definitely potential for them to come over.
Oh, come one, come all. DM any of the Lionesses who are watching, just hit me on the DMs, and I will hook you up with an allocation draft, which I will take 0% commission. You were selected 6 overall by the Houston Dash in the 2016 college draft. Tough decision for you. Your family all at home in England, leaving all that you knew personally behind. What were you looking to achieve in your heart, though, by staying?
I actually just said this on an interview earlier today. I was set to go home. I was set to play in the WSL. I was ready to leave. I was ready to move on, and I thought my time in America was done. And then, my coach, Ian Stone, said to me, just throw yourself in the draft. Just see, you never know what will happen. Just put your name in. You could get picked. And, they could ask you if you want to go, and you can say no, but just feel it out. So, and then halfway through my senior year, I was just like, you know what? Like, I want to play. I want to play here now. Like, I watched the NWSL all year. I want to play here. And then I got a call off Randy Waldrum at Houston. I got a few calls from other coaches in the league, but Randy was like, look, we want to pick you up in the first round. Like, we really want to take you. Do you want to stay here? And I think at that moment I had to decide, look, I want to stay here. Like, I'm ready to stay. And like, Houston was a big attraction for me. And Randy's philosophy and his methods sounded great, and it was a big selling point for me. And yeah, I think it was a tough decision, and in that moment I had to make that decision because I didn't want to lead Randy on and say, hey, yeah, I'll come, and then just sack it off and go home. So I think for me I had to make that decision, and on the flip side of that, I couldn't leave the people in England hanging and say, yeah, I'm going to come home and then stay. So I had to be honest, have hard conversations and with my family, and decide what was best for me, and then ultimately I decided to stay, and I guess haven't looked back since.
Oh, America. By the way, I've taken that same approach as you did. I've just thrown myself into the MLS draft every year, and no one has taken me yet, not even the bloody Colorado Rapids. But you are now the longest tenured player at Houston. You have seen a lot of seasons with big dreams without the payoff that you've really yearned for. The Dash have never made the playoffs, never mind the final. How would you describe the experience before the Challenge Cup?
Frustrating. I think you have so much passion for a club, and you have so much passion for success, and it drives you every year, and you believe every year it's going to happen. We build a great squad, we build a great team of players, of staff, and you think you're finally there, you think everything's going well. You start off with season strong, you're doing well, you're middle of the pack, you're at the top of the league at some stage, and then it just comes crashing down, and it didn't quite go to plan. And I wouldn't say failed. I think that's a harsh word. I think just been shy of success, like just that little missing piece. And I think that's been the most frustrating thing for me, not having success with this club, because it's such a good club and it's got so much to offer. The city of Houston is such a fantastic city.
The best.
The passion in the city for soccer, and it's just a great city. It's a great city, great organization, and it's never got the credit it deserves. And I say this all the time, but you gain respect by success. And I think, that was a point that we wanted to prove in this Challenge Cup. And I think finally we've sort of put ourselves on the map as not being Houston, same old Houston, middle of the pack Houston, and just trying to put ourselves out there.
Rachel, as an Everton fan, I relate exactly to what you're talking about. Big dreams, not quite actualized. My dad refers to it as, he doesn't refer to it as losing, he refers to it as not winning. But to the Challenge Cup, you were made captain ahead of this tournament. Talk about how that changes your identity on the field.
Yeah, I think for me, I've always been the type of person to put the team first, no matter what I do. But I think it gave me something else to focus on. It wasn't just about me. It wasn't just about how I can gain success to help the team. It was more, how can I help the team to gain success as a whole unit versus just myself. And I think for me, that I had to take that leadership role with very little time. It's not over the course of a season, it's just for a small time in the tournament. And for me, I just tried to relish that and took all the things I've learned off other leaders, that mentors that I've had in my past and in my life, and have helped me get to where I am now.
Like who, Rachel?
I think Casey Stoney's a big example of that. I think she was a great leader for me when I was at Lincoln, at my time there, and someone who I've always sort of looked up to. And yeah, I think she's been a role model for me in terms of leadership. And yeah, I just think, people along the way, like even family and how they've led in different ways. And, I think just experiences like that, I kind of had to take them and use that and relish this opportunity and know that it's bigger than, like I said, I've always been a team player. I think it's bigger than me. It's more, I need to do this not just for the girls on the field, not just for the subs, but for the whole Houston community, the whole organization. I thought, I have to put my body on the line every single day in order to, if I'm doing that, everyone else can follow. And, I'm not a type of person to ask for standards off somebody else and not give it. So I think if I'm leading and people follow, then that's all I can do. And I've tried to do that the best I can and just try and get the success that we deserve.
Well, whatever you're doing, it's been bloody magnificent. It's clearly worked. The Dash have been the story of this tournament. You eat past the Utah Royals in a penalty shootout in the quarters, and now took down Portland Thorns, a team you had not beaten in your last 10 tries. What's changed on the field?
It's a mentality, I think, now. Going into this tournament, I think we all genuinely believed that we were going to win this tournament. And that's, I think, in the past we might have said that and maybe half believed it, and it's hard to believe it when you haven't had that success. But I think we had such a fresh new team this year. We lost some incredible players, but gained some incredible players. And I think maybe that fresh start was what the club needed in order to move past, that barrier of constant lack of success. Yeah, and like you say, playing against Portland, like, is something we you usually fear, and I don't think anybody feared that in our locker room yesterday. I don't think anybody feared it. I think everybody bought in. Everybody believed that we were going to win that game, and whether it was regulation, whether it was in penalties, we believed it. The staff believed it. The organisation believed it. The fans believed it. The bandwagon fans maybe believed it. And yeah, I think we've had to just sort of turn people's heads and get them on our side. And yeah, I think it's a good story. It's definitely a new dash and a new identity.
I want to talk about the Thorn semi-final. You were having a quiet game. You looked frustrated. What did you tell yourself in those moments?
Yeah, it was a weird game for me. I think I actually got more of the ball than I have done in maybe some of the other games, but I was a little bit frustrated. I thought we were playing really good football. I thought we played well. I thought we were on top. I guess I was frustrated because we hadn't put the ball in the back of the net. But I knew it was coming. I just sort of told myself, relax, be patient. If it takes 96 minutes, if it takes penalties, we were going to win this game. And I think...
I love that confidence. I love that confidence.
I think that frustration creeps in when you feel like you're almost there, but you're not quite there.
Did they teach you that confidence at St. John's? Because that confidence is not very English, Rachel Daly.
I think I developed that myself along the way somewhere, but maybe St. John's had something to do with it.
Talk me through the goal. 69th minute, Christy Mewis corner. Oh, Christy Mewis. Sophie Schmidt's looping header hits the bar. The ball is there. There's like 87 pairs of cleats flying around it. What goes through your mind, Rachel Daly? I'm going to put my head in there.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a bit of a crazy player. I think everybody knows that. But I'll do anything to win. And, it was an unbelievable header from Sophie. I don't even know how that got to where it got to. But for me, it was one of those, I didn't have time to think about it. I had to put any limb on that ball and hope that it went in. I aimed for the place that I wanted it to go. Actually came off the back of the keeper. But I just tried to throw anything that I possibly could get on it with some considerable force.
No fear, no reward. Goal, your third of the tournament. Who's counting? Everybody. I love footballers who are able to have a frustrating day, but then make big moments happen. Big plays, big players, big moments. It's called doing a Carly Lloyd. Scrappy, brave, gutsy, courage of a goal. Really, signature Rachel Daly to me. I love your play on the field. I love your play off the field, Rachel Daly. I really do. You're the model to me of all that's good about English football. And by the way, I'm watching all these comments while you're speaking, and people love you. They really, people love you. When we said you were coming on today,
I think it might be 50-50, but it's okay.
No, the reality is most of these people, I think they might be your dad, but people in Houston, love you. They really, not just like you as a player, and they adore you and what you represent for good reason to me. You're all that's good, really, about English football. To be completely clear, when I was growing up, as I said earlier, in England, women who played the game, girls who played the game, were derided, they were mocked, and it is the single greatest footballing joy of my life to see how England has taken the women's game to its heart and now loves its Lionesses as much as the men's team. And I love you on the field. I really do. What you said in victory yesterday in your post-game speech after the Dash had made it to the final, you said, we talked a lot about the identity of the team, and everywhere in the world right now is struggling with this pandemic. And the city of Houston is going through a really tough time. And I think for us, it was for them. Those are beautiful words, Rachel.
Yeah, I mean that, from the bottom of my heart. It's this. The city of Houston will always hold a special place in my heart wherever I end up in the future. And, when we left to come to the tournament, the city was in a good place. Everything was reopening. It was in a good place, positive vibes. And then this took a really bad hit, and they're struggling. And you know what? Our main sponsor, MD Anderson Cancer Center, it's on our jersey. I think for them as well. Patients going through terrible time right now. Just to get them to watch us and have something to look forward to is so special. And I think that's exactly what I said. I put that jersey on and I think of the cancer patients and what they're going through and all the people that are suffering in the world. And hopefully we can put on a good display and give them some form of happiness.
Oh, to Houston, a city I love, to Texas, to the final. You and your coach, James Clarkson, have talked from the beginning of this tournament about using it to change the organisation's reputation, finally start getting the results that have escaped you year after year after year. Is it fair to say, win or lose, on Sunday, the Dash have already gained what they wanted from this tournament, which is respect?
Absolutely. You know what? I think win, lose, whatever the score is on Sunday, obviously we're hoping for nothing less than a win. Yeah, I think the Dash has recreated their identity. I think what we stand for is something more than football, and I think that's really important. You know, I think the team has gone through hell and back over the past few months for things that on the outside of the circle they'll never know, things that people don't need to know. And, you know, there's been some there's been some struggle. And you know what, I think within our circle, and I always talk about this in the post-game speech, and within our circle, we know what we stand for and our identity and what we believe. And this group of girls is something special. Fantastic footballers, but even more so people. You know, I've learned so much about these people on this trip, and they're just unbelievable people. And I think James only wants good people, and James is a big part of that. He's such a good person. He cares so much and loves us all so much. And yeah, I think that's why it's so special for us, and that's why it's so unique, is that we genuinely buy into everything that James has set out, and the staff and the club and the organisation. And like I said, for the city, I think it's just creating a whole new...
The final, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. Did I mention it's on CBS proper? Spoiler alert if you're watching, because Rachel Daly is going to tell us how's it going to go. What's going to happen, Rachel?
All I can say is we're going to win the final. That's all I can say. No, if it's up to me, we're winning the final. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic game. Chicago are a great side.
Yes, they are.
They came into their own. Last night, they were absolutely fantastic. And, you know, it's going to be a tough game, but I think one that everyone in the world needs to watch and be a part of, because it is going to be a great game. And hopefully Houston come on top and we end up with the result that we want and leave this place champions.
With you, Christy Mewis, Nichelle Prince, Jane Campbell, against the world, you always fancy your chances. I will say, to me, Rachel Daly, you are a huge star of the NWSL. If I were running the NWSL, I would have you as one of the faces of the whole enchilada. You are, to me, underrated in the same way as Houston has been underrated. I mean, how would you describe the heartbeat of this team right now? Do or die, underdogs, bit of a chip on the shoulder.
I think you said it yourself there, a bit of a chip on our shoulder. You know, I think it's good for us that we've had players come in this year in trades from other clubs that have had success. So they've brought in their experience of success. We've got players. It's a very diverse team. I think... Sorry, did that cut out? I don't know if that cut out.
It was beautiful. Whatever you said, it was good. Keep going.
Yeah, I think we've got such a diverse squad. And a diverse organization, you know, and I think that helps in bringing success. And
America.
Yeah, very much so. And yeah, I think, again, the chip on the shoulder is a very, very big thing for us. I think the players that have come in from other teams, that have come in from college, like, they know what the Dash is about. They know what we represent. They know how much it means to the city. It means to the club. It means to the organization. It means to the players that have been here for years. And it means to the players that have just got here. You know, and I think to sort of change that trademark, same old Dash slogan, get rid of that, wipe that out of the water and start again, and, you know, show what we're actually about. And I think getting to the final is step one, and step two is winning the final. So tune in.
I love two-step processes. I do need to say this, we got so many lovely messages from GFOPs about you, about your play, Rachel Daly. One of them I need to read out, at Kendall, who wrote, I want Rachel Daly to know that we as Dash fans are so incredibly proud of all the hard work she's put in for the past 5 years. We love her. We love the rest of the team so very much. And I want to finish with a last quote of yours. You recently said, now I'm in my 5th season out here, and we know about the sacrifice you've made, leaving your family, leaving everything in Yorkshire. You said playing for the Houston Dash in the NWSL. You said, when I was a little girl playing Harrogate, I never thought that my life would bring me to where I am now. And Rachel Daly, your journey has been incredible. And I need to know, what's the most important thing you've learned along the way? What would you say to that little girl in Harrogate playing on the under 12 boys team, taking the crap from the boys and in school? What would you say to that kid, knowing where you've ended up, where you are now on the eve of the Challenge Cup final?
You know what? I'd be proud of myself because I took risks. I took really big risks. And I got comfortable with the uncomfortable. It sounds cliche, but you know, it was a really, really big decision to leave everybody behind.
Yes.
But ultimately, for me, they're always going to be there. My family, my blood, you know, my friends, and just the fact that I took the risk when probably everyone said I was crazy, you know. And I think that's how I live my life now. I take risks. I do what I think is right by everyone, by myself, by my family, by my teammates, by a stranger. And I will take as many risks that I could possibly take in order to get success, to make people happy, just to be happy and live a positive life and just, you know, just enjoy myself. And I think that's one thing I would say is that I was happy that I took the risk.
Oh, Rachel Daly, you are genuinely a human inspiration. I raise my bud to you, to your dash. I wish you health, happiness, strength, success. As Beyonce would say, this is how they made me. Houston, Texas, baby. Courage.
There you go. I wish I had one to cheers to you. Maybe when we win, I'll get about 12 of them and just cheers them to
you. Oh. Rachel Daly, what an incredible human being. We are halfway through this. You're left with Rog. Who wants to be with Rog when there's a final? Did I mention it? 12:30 Sunday on CBS proper. Budweiser will also be doing a ton of remarkable promos and prizes during that final. Look out for their Twitter on social. We are about to be joined by someone. Oh, cheers, Budweiser. Truly, truly remarkable. Houston Dash says, that's our captain. That is so bloody true. That is your captain. And what a human being. What an inspiration. What an individual. The kind of individual the world really needs right now. A light in the darkness. We are waiting for guest number 2. God, it is so crazy that ahead of the last final, just a couple of months ago, we were in Raleigh, North Carolina. A beautiful night with the managers of both teams. And we had Ashlyn Harris, we had Ali Krieger. We were there on stage together. This is what we have now in every way, and we will make the best of it. You are remarkable human beings. I love being with you. And I love being with our guest. If I can just pull this one up, please bear with me. It will be so worth it in every regard. Let me see what we got here. Hold on one second. Oh, technology, America. Here we go. Oh, this is worth waiting for. Let's see if I've done the right thing. America. Just raise those buds. Ah!
Hey!
I can't tell you how stressful this crap is.
I know. I don't know how to work this. I know.
Whoa, I gotta tell you, I am like the worst. You know, I can't even change a light bulb. I've rarely been more happy to see a human being than it is to see you. It is a joy to be with you. Oh, what an absolute delight. We've talked about the Houston Dash in every way. It's time to change the script in a remarkable way with guest number 2 from the, in my mind, the single greatest sporting city in America, Chicago, home to the mighty Red Stars, a player I admire from a team I adore. Welcome to the Bud Challenge Cup final, Insta Live. Kealia, oh hi, what? Oh.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
It's a joy to be with you. Congratulations on just a joyous run to the final, which, did I mention, 12:30 Sunday Eastern Time on CBS proper. What a thrill to see the Red Stars back in a final again.
Yep. Yeah, we're so excited. I mean, this has definitely been a grind, and we feel like we've been here for a really long time, and we just didn't want to settle for anything less than the final, and we're just so excited.
I want to start by saying there's few players who have more connections to this tournament than you do. You are now a Chicago Red Star, a former Houston Dash captain, as we will discuss in a moment, but you're also a local girl raised in Draper, Utah, just down the
Yeah.
Wasatch Front from Salt Lake City, right? You're playing at home.
Yes, yes, it's so funny. I played my championship game in high school at Rio Tinto Stadium, and we won there. Yeah, so it's like it's so crazy to be back. Every time I'm back here, I'm like, right across the street is the theater I grew up going to my whole life. Like it's so cool to be back, and I love Utah. I love Rio Tinto, so it's been a lot of fun.
What's weirder, the bubble, or just like being like back by the local theatre, back by the fields, back in your neighborhood, back on the field where you won the high school? I mean, it's crazy. All these
It's
memories.
crazy. There's so many memories, and it's so crazy. My house is like 20 minutes from where we're staying and 20 minutes from the field, and I obviously I can't see my parents, but it's still nice to be back. It's very different circumstances, but it's always nice to be back in Utah.
Tell me very quickly about that final, the high school final that everybody's talking about, because it's the precedent for the final on Sunday. What was the score in
Yeah,
that one?
well, we ended up winning in PKs, so we definitely don't want to go to PKs again. But yeah, we won. I went to Alta High School. I actually played with one of my teammates on the Red Stars, Michelle Murphy, and we won. And I won all 4 high school championships with Alta. So it was a very successful high school career, and we're hoping for another win on Sunday.
Oh, America. We've got to go back to the fall when you, who had played in Houston for 6 seasons, 3 as captain, decided it was time to be traded to the Red Stars. There's the plug. Let's look at the hotel. There, we got a very good look at Bubble Life there. I enjoyed that. We saw your plug.
Sorry, you're kind of going in and out. Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, last fall, you played for Houston for 6 seasons, 3 as captain, and you decided it was time for a move to Chicago. Just tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely loved my time in Houston, and Houston is like a second home to me. My family's there, my husband's there, and I loved playing for that club, and I'm very proud of that club and what they're doing now. But I was just at a time in my career where I needed a change, and I had just been there for so long, and I've always admired Chicago and Rory and what they've built there, and so I've tried really hard to get there, and luckily everything worked out.
You met your husband in Houston. Your 3 sisters live in town. You'd experienced an ACL tear there in 2017, and you realized for your career to revert to being one of the most feared, productive wide players in the league, Chicago, the great Rory Dames could empower that. Was that what you were looking for? Essentially, a fresh start.
Yeah, I needed a fresh start just from a growth perspective, and from my career. I tore my ACL almost 3 years ago, and I needed a new place and new people and a new training environment, and it was very hard for me to leave. I
I
love
bet.
Houston, and I love those girls. I just watched your interview with Rach, and I miss playing with Rach, and I miss playing with all those girls, but I was so excited to be able to come to Chicago, and the start of all this has been so crazy. I told someone the other day we had 3 or 4 practices, and then all of this happened. So it's been a very interesting start to my trade.
It's crazy. I was trying to think what you've been through. Like, it wasn't just a new team. It was something like having 20 odd new roommates, the way the Challenge Cup has gone down. You suddenly enter the bubble with them for a month. I mean, it's essentially, they are your life right now. How has that been for you?
It's been challenging at times, honestly, but it has been nice because we have a lot of new faces on this team, and we have a lot of rookies that none of us have ever met. Luckily,
Unbelievable.
a lot of the girls, yeah, literally, like we didn't know before this. Luckily for me, I've played with a lot of these girls with the under 20 national team and just youth teams. But yeah, it's been an experience where we're all in the same hotel and we've gotten to know each other just from literally spending all day together. And it's been unique and not something. I mean, it doesn't happen like this very often. So we have had time to kind of bond as a team, and it is hard, but there are positives to this situation.
I'm going to say Rory Dames worked bloody well. He's going to be like, you know what? We're going to do this big brother thing for the whole season. We're doing it. We're committing. If you're in, you're in. You're all going to live together
I'm
for
sure
7
you
months.
would like that.
You have arrived at a time of transition for this Red Star team. My hero, Sam Kerr, departing, a slew of roster changes, most significantly your arrival, Rachel Hill, the reactivation of Bianca St. George. How would you describe the essence of this Red Star squad?
Yeah, it's been very interesting just because there's so many new faces, and like you said, it's been kind of a totally different style for this team. I think losing Sam Kerr, you kind of have to figure out how you're going to move forward and how you want to play. And so it's been challenging with such little time, obviously. But one thing we always talk about, and one thing I've always admired about Rory and the Red Stars, is they've just always found a way to win. They just find a way somehow to win. And I think that sticks with the team no matter who's here. And that's something I've loved being around, and I've seen this whole tournament is just finding a way to win.
Can I say one thing at the risk of repeating myself, but this does bear repeating? The NWSL Challenge Cup, 1 game to go. But on the eve of baseball's return, as we are, I can't stand the number of newspapers writing about how baseball is the first American sport back when the NWSL led the way almost a month ago. The lack of credit, it annoys me, Kealia. Does it annoy you guys?
It does. It does. It's frustrating because the league worked so hard to get this done, and we worked so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was incredible.
Sacrifice
it really was.
So much.
Yeah, exactly. Sacrifice being with our families and our health and our careers basically to be here. So it is frustrating to see that and to not get the credit we deserve, honestly. But I think that as the tournament's gone on, I've seen so much more and so much excitement about it. And I mean, we're excited to be on CBS on Sunday and hopefully get some viewers that haven't seen before how good this league is and how amazing these women are. So we're excited, but yes, it has been frustrating at times.
To the tournament, first I want to talk about the penalty shootout against OL Reign in the quarters. Describe your mentality in the penalty shootout. Like, I think it was 2-2, you shot third, they'd missed one already, the Reign. Talk me through your mentality. What flashes through your brain as you go on that long walk of doom towards the penalty spot? Do you feel nerves? What do you tell yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I was a little nervous, but I was excited, and just kind of before the shootout, Julie and Sarah Gordon, we were kind of all just like, it's okay. Like, we're here no matter what happens. We fought. We're going to shoot, and whatever happens, happens. And we're proud of ourselves. And so I think that really took the nerves off. I actually changed the way that I normally go. I switch it up, but I changed the way right at the last second.
When? Well, I mean, it was a question from Ina Gunworthy Ben wanted to know, how far into your run-up were you when you decided to change the direction of your shot?
It was pretty far into my run-up. I kind of saw her moving a little bit, and so I changed. And I know. I try to do that. I try to read the keeper, but that she was difficult. She was tough. And I scored, and I was so excited. And every shooter we had was just amazing. It's also hard to shoot against Nair. She's literally the best keeper in the world. And so that's something Rory said going in, was like, just remember, we have the best keeper in the world. So we have nothing to be afraid of. And that is something that I have enjoyed having with Alyssa this whole entire tournament.
Wayne Rooney told me that one thing with penalties is to decide on your walk-up where you're going to go and then don't change it. Don't listen to Wayne Rooney. Listen to
Don't
because I gotta say,
don't listen to
I
him.
gotta say, your penalty was bloody good. It was the most un-English penalty I have ever seen in my. It was beautiful. It really, I'm amazed that you're like calculating even in the run-up.
Yeah.
It's like that is a beautiful mind. To the semi-final against Sky Blue FC, the Red Stars open up a can of whoop-ass 2-0 inside 11 minutes. I love it. Are you okay? I'm worried about you for a
Yes.
second.
I need a beer.
Hey! America. With the first 11 minutes, you scored more goals or as many goals as you had in the rest of the tournament. Then Savannah McCaskill, can I just say, I love watching Savannah McCaskill. She makes it 3-0 in the 60th minute. Is it like, are you all looking at each other being like, nothing can go wrong now?
That's what we were thinking. I'm pretty sure if you're up 3-0, you're thinking, okay, we're safe here. Everything's good. I think that we were a little frustrated at the end of that game that we let them back in after we were up 3-0. And yeah, we were just so excited to score goals. That's obviously been a pressure we felt this whole tournament is we need to score in the run of play. And so we were very excited. Again, to let them back in like that was a little frustrating. But then at the end, I think it kind of showed.
Tenacity. Credit them. I mean, such tenacity.
Exactly.
2 goals in 5 minutes. It made it what Sir Alex Ferguson would call squeaky bum time. How does that feel on the field when you're like, oh crap?
It's hard. It's hard because they obviously have the momentum. Sky Blue's a great team, and they really have built kind of similar as Rachel was saying with the Dash, a different identity. They're difficult to play, and when they score those 2 goals, that momentum is hard to play against, especially when you're tired, when it's getting close to the end of the game, and we've played this many games. And so I think it was cool, though, to see how we really just dug in, and we were like, we have to get this done. However it happens, we have to get this done. And that's kind of the Red Star spirit that I was talking about.
Yeah, well, I'll say Sky Blue had something like 83.5% possession in the last 5 minutes. But watching the game, the back line did not buckle. I mean, that Red Star defense, sturdy stuff. And listen there, you mentioned her already today. She doesn't like congratulations very much. But she is, well, let's just say half the teams in the top 6 of the Premier League could do with such a consistently dominant goalkeeper like her right now. She's magnificent.
She is. She makes saves that during the game, I'm like, I do not know how. I'm literally standing in shock. Like, how did she get to that? She's just calm. Yes, she does not like to be touched, and she gets mad at me all the time because I like to hug her and touch her, and she does not like that. So as long as you don't touch her, yes, she's happy, but she's so incredible, and just having her back there and the confidence that you feel it's amazing.
We're getting to the crux of the issue, Kealia. Now, your new team, Chi-Town, are in the final against your old flame, H-Town, the Houston Dash. Put into words, poetry for me, if you can. How does that feel?
It's wild. It really is. It's wild because for everything to happen the way it did in this tournament and the schedule change because of what happened with Orlando, and then all of this to line up like this is pretty crazy. I never would have imagined that it would have happened this way. It is pretty poetic, but I'm excited. I mean, I'm happy for the Dash, and I love those girls, and we want to win. Obviously, Chicago, we are ready and we're excited, and it's going to be surreal playing against these girls that I've played with for 6 years of my career.
I mean, I'm going to give you 3 options. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Do you, A, relish the opportunity to play against a Houston Dash because, wow, extra motivation?
Yeah.
B, would you prefer it was another club in the finals because, you know, feelings and it just feels too much to play against the club you played for so long? It's your hometown, any club but the Houston Dash. Or C, are you just happy that it's not the North Carolina Courage? A, B, or C?
I'm gonna go with A and C on that one. I think that it is cool. It'll be fun and such a unique opportunity. I think it's so funny that the first time they get to the final, I'm in the final with another team, and I never would have imagined that to happen. But I'm excited, and at the end of the day, it's just another game, and we know what we have to do, and we're excited. We're trying to recover as best we can right now, and get ready for Sunday.
Oh, let's get down to the real question. Whoever wins the NWSL Challenge Cup on Sunday on CBS at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time will host a trophy. Will hoist a trophy for the first time. Kealia, make the case for the Chicago Red Stars.
Yeah, I think that at our best, we're difficult to beat. And I think it just goes back to that mentality of just digging in and doing whatever you have to do to win. I think the Dash have had an incredible tournament, and they're extremely explosive, and they've done amazing. But I think that we're excited. This team has been in the final, obviously, last year, and that is, yeah, that's a very sore subject for everyone, and everyone is still disappointed in the way that turned out. So we're back again for the second year in a row for this club, and we are going to do everything in our power to not have that result happen again.
Give my love to Casey Shaw. I adore watching that human being, a local. I mean, she's a human being who's just one that transcends sports in every way. Watching her with that knock, I can't imagine what she's feeling right now. And I raise my bud to her. I raise my bud to her. I have a big soft spot for the Chicago Red Stars. I'm a Bears fan, a White Sox fan. I adore what the White Sox are building. I adore that team. And Kealia, you are an inspiration. I love watching you. Roll on Sunday, the Challenge Cup final, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS proper. I raise my bud to you, Kealia Watt, wishing you health, happiness, and glory.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. To you, to America, oh, to the NWSL. I will just say, what you are building with that league is utterly, utterly, utterly thrilling in every regard, making the league of our dreams come true week after week. Forget the other sports. In all candor, what you've done, NWSL, with this Challenge Cup final is brave, is courageous, the sacrifice of your teams and your players to be a light in the darkness when we need one. I raise my bud to you as Pathfinders for America. Budweiser will be running an in-game promotion during the championship game. Watch their Twitter for more. But until then, it's Rog. Gonna go and get another drink now. Enjoy it. Thank you, all of you. I love all of you. Dash fans, Red Star fans, Rachel Daly, Kealia Watt, and you, America.